Well, it's freezing today. We're in, what's the name of this?
Mathew Street.
Mathew Street. Of course, it's all closed off now, as you can see. And there used to be the old cavern, used to be there down there, but it's over here now. The new cavern. It's been here for quite a few years, like. But we're just going to start the film, and here's my friend Paul. All right, Paul.
Hello, Mike. We've got a colleague joining us today, John Lennon. Used to be in a band called the Beatles. John, this was your haunt, this is where you hung out. This is usually a hotbed of activity. People from all over the world come here just to see the places where you were famous, you used to play to. And but now it's totally desolate. There's not a living soul in sight. Every bar is shut. I mean,
this is because of COVID-19, yeah. And it's Tuesday.
Tuesday afternoon at Quill Town Centre. Is this the end, John, or is this just the beginning? A new beginning? The great term at the moment is, what's it? Build back better. Are they going to build anything, or are we just going to be desolate from here on in? Because everything's shutting down. The Cavern Walks, which is a big shopping centre, which again is based on the Beatles tourism, that is actually being closed down. All the shops have been emptied. There's nothing there. Just been past Debenhams, that's closed down.
Debenhams.
All these bars and clubs are finished because they can't pay the rent. They're just closed down and they're not intending to reopen. And how long's it going on for? We were told it'd be 15 days to flatten the curve, and then the virus will pass on and we can get back to normal.
It's nearly a year now, isn't it?
Nearly a year. And the
10 months.
How have we survived? Through mass borrowing. Just been in the building society there. We were talking about the crash in 2007 when there was a queue outside the Northern Rock because it had to shut down. Everyone thought the money was going to disappear. But we got through that crash. But there's got another bigger crash just round the corner. I mean, we cannot sustain this level of borrowing. We cannot sustain this death of industrial activity or commercial activity. It's going to reach a conclusion, and it's not going to be pretty when it happens. I mean, at the moment, the government are paying us, the furloughing us, to work. We're not paying the government taxes, they're paying us. Yet they've got no money, they've got no income. So they're just borrowing the money. And it's like a total illusion. If the illusion, someone says, hey, the emperor's got no clothes, there's no more money for you, what's going to happen?
What I was wondering, Paul, I was wondering that has money now lost its meaning? Is it lost its meaning? Because the government just seems to be handing money out everywhere to people who are furloughed, and they're even talking now about paying £500 to people if they get a test.
Just get a test.
I mean, I wonder what John Lennon would think about all this.
What would John Lennon think about it? And to him, money was no object. Obviously, he was a very wealthy guy, and his money come from just singing songs. So he lived in a fairy tale world. And the thing is, though, money is an illusion. If you think about it, money is just a piece of paper. It's just based on confidence. You've got to have confidence that this piece of paper, or this number in a bank account, or digital number, which it is today, you just press a button and money appears. You've got to have confidence that that has got real value, that you can exchange that piece of paper or that digital number for real goods, clothes and foods, and pay for rent. Now, people say, actually, it's an illusion and it's not worth anything and I don't want it anymore. That's what happens. The economy crashes. That's a real credit crunch, when your money loses value. Now, what ultimately underlies money, the value of money? What is it? I mean, it's the economic activity of the world, basically. And over the last 2 decades, it's been based on China, on the Chinese economy, and on its growth, and the growth of its manufacturing. If we don't buy their goods anymore, if they say, well, look, your money's no value to us now, so we're not going to sell you the goods, and the whole cycle, the whole illusion breaks down, the way it works. How do you restart it again? It causes enormous damage. You think about it, we live in this country with these massive cities. Our population has surged. We've imported 10 million people from the third world, largely on benefits. You just think of it, and suddenly there's no money, because we don't produce enough food to feed ourselves. What's going to happen?
Well, the way I see it is money just really an illusion? I mean, if they've done something, the world leaders with these billionaires, these 2,000 215 billionaires, where they've worked something out now, where, you know, they find it's more rewarding to control people, and that money really is an illusion, you know. Really, is that, it makes you think, doesn't it?
Well, what's happened is, like, all the power has been concentrated on the global institutions, like the World Health Authority, like the United Nations, like the World Bank, like the International Monetary Fund, like these corporations, the big corporations. All the power has been sucked up to them. And we, in our little nation state, with our pound sterling, even the euro, we have to take orders from these people now. This is a concentration of power. And who's behind this? Who controls these institutions? A certain clique of people. A handful of billionaires, mega billionaires. They've got a club in New York, don't they, called the Goodfellas Club or something. And they decide what policy is going to happen here, there and everywhere. I mean,
so they pull all the strings, don't they?
Where did this coronavirus come from? Why was it let out to China? Was it done with a reason, or was it certainly just done by accident? What's your thoughts on that, Mike?
These things can't be proved, you know what I mean, Paul? But, you know, one has to ask oneself, was it deliberate? Was it created in a laboratory and deliberately let out of that laboratory? You know, some people say it was to bring down Donald Trump, but it makes you think. But these are all, you know, conspiracy theories, you know, and of course this is my opinion. You have to be very careful what you say on YouTube now, you know. But these are all conspiracy theories, and nothing's factual, so you've just got to, you know, what can you say? You can't prove anything, can you?
What is not a conspiracy theory is that Donald Trump rattled their cage. The Chinese Communist Party, the New York Mafia, the New York Tribe, and their mega billions, the stock market, Wall Street, the Soroses of this world, the Bloombergs of this world, big tech, the Zuckerbergs, the Sergey Lebron and people like that, Google. You know, Trump rattled their cage. They thought they ran the whole show, and it was run in their interests. When Trump said, no, I'm going to put America first, they didn't like that. They only want the American people to be there to do as they're told, to be like serfs of their power. And Trump really disturbed them. And they decided, by hook or by crook, they were going to remove Trump. I mean, Soros said, didn't he, 4 years ago, Trump won't be there for more than 1 term. And 2 years ago, he said Trump will be gone in 2020. He knew what the result of the election was. He had a huge, elaborate plan to fiddle the votes through mail-in voting, to control the court so Trump couldn't appeal the cases, they couldn't present evidence of fraud, and that's what happened. And to control the media, so the media kept saying Trump has lost, when everyone knows Trump won by a landslide in real votes, people who cast votes. I mean, Biden had the ballots, but he never had the votes. And now Biden's got power. I mean, through really insidious means, he's got power. We just had this inauguration in Washington, which wasn't filmed live. It was recorded in case Biden messed it up. Biden's an empty suit. He's a geriatric. I mean, he's incontinent.
78, isn't he?
He's incontinent. It's ridiculous. We've got a president who never won an election, who can't function in his role, and it's just being controlled by people from behind the scenes. When he goes to sign his first executive orders, he's not signing actually written documents. He was signing blank pieces of paper, which they can impose any agenda they want on. And what agenda are they imposing on us? We've already started shutting down jobs. On his first day in office, Joe Biden killed 70,000 construction jobs on the wall, on the pipeline. ICE, which deports foreign criminals, is being wound up. And I said, what should we do with the foreign criminals? And Joe Biden said, let them go. Hang on, they've been ordered to be deported. Let them go. How's he going to fill the vacuum? He's got to create new industries. What industries are you going to promote? The abortion industry, the farming of unborn children, cutting them up and selling off the body parts to worth a fortune. This is an evil administration. And it's only evil people who get away with this because they're hidden behind the scenes. And Joe Biden's just the puppet on a string.
Well, as they say, Paul, and we'll conclude now, because it's freezing cold in Liverpool today. These things happen because good people stand by and do nothing. Remember that, the good people who watch this. Most of the people who watch this, though, are our subscribers. But there are some good people who watch it who just stand by and do nothing. But anyway, it's freezing, Paul. Let's get off, okay?
Come on, I know your hand's cold there, Mike. Mike has got his ailments, so we've got to get back to the warmth. But it's just eerie to be in Liverpool, and all the streets are empty. It's a ghost town. I'm sure where you are.
We're living in a ghost town, yeah.
How long can this be sustained? Not much longer.
Anyway, see you guys.